Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a classic tale that's as relevant today as it was centuries ago. It's a story about ambition, perception, and the dangers of trying to be something you're not. So, grab a comfy seat, and let's explore the story of the frog and the ox. Picture a peaceful, marshy pond, buzzing with life. Dragonflies zip through the air, water lilies float on the surface, and a family of frogs enjoys their lazy afternoon. Among them is a rather large, proud frog. He wasn't just any frog. He considered himself the king of the pond, the biggest and best frog around. His croak was the loudest, his leap the longest, and he made sure every other creature knew it. One sunny day, a magnificent ox came down to the pond to drink. This wasn't just a large animal. It was colossal. Its shoulders were broad, its legs were like tree trunks, and its presence was so immense that the very ground seemed to tremble with each step. The smaller frogs, seeing this giant creature for the first time, scattered in awe and a little bit of fear, hiding among the reeds. Our proud frog, however, didn't hide. He watched from his lily pad, his eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and envy. He had never seen anything so grand. The ox drank its fill, its great head lowered to the water, completely unaware of the tiny audience it had gathered. As the ox ambled away, the other frogs slowly emerged from their hiding spots, chattering excitedly. "Did you see the size of that beast?" one whispered. "It was like a walking mountain," another added. Hearing this, our proud frog felt a sting of jealousy. His title as the biggest and best in the pond suddenly felt hollow. He couldn't stand the thought of any creature being more impressive than him. So, he puffed out his chest and croaked loudly to get everyone's attention. "A mountain? Nonsense! It was big. I'll grant you that. But not that big," he declared. "I can be just as big. Just watch me." And with that, he took a deep, deep breath, sucking in as much air as his little frog lungs could hold. His green, speckled skin stretched taut. He swelled up, growing noticeably larger. He turned to his children, his voice strained. "Am I as big as the ox now?" he wheezed. His little froglets looked at him, then glanced in the direction the ox had gone, and shook their heads. "Not even close, Dad," one of them chirped honestly. "You're bigger than usual." But the ox was. Well, it was huge. This wasn't the answer he wanted to hear. A flicker of frustration crossed his face. "Not big enough, eh? We'll see about that." He closed his eyes and concentrated, taking in another enormous gulp of air. He puffed and strained, his body expanding even more. He looked like a green balloon about to pop. "How about now?" he gasped, his voice barely a squeak. He was now twice his normal size, a truly impressive sight for a frog. But compared to the ox, it was no contest. His family looked worried. "Please, Dad, stop!" cried his eldest. "You'll hurt yourself. It doesn't matter who is bigger. We love you just the way you are." But the proud frog was deaf to their pleas. His pride was on the line. He was consumed by the desire to prove he was the greatest. The praise of the other pond creatures for the ox echoed in his mind, fueling his obsession. He couldn't accept that something could exist that was so far beyond his own scale. "One more time," he muttered, his eyes bulging. "I can do it. I will be as big as that ox." He ignored the desperate croaks of his family and inhaled with all his remaining might. He drew in air until his skin was stretched to its absolute limit, thin and almost transparent. For a fleeting moment, he was a truly gigantic frog, a marvel of inflation. But the laws of nature and biology can only be pushed so far. There was a sudden, final, and tragic pop. The proud frog had burst. The once vibrant pond fell silent. The little frogs stared in shock and sadness at the place where their father had just been. The grand ambition, the desperate need to be something he wasn't, had led to his own undoing. The story of the frog and the ox is a powerful fable with a timeless moral. Do and try to be what you are not. It's a cautionary tale about the destructive nature of envy and pride. The frog wasn't content with being a perfectly good, even a great, frog. He saw something bigger and felt diminished by it. Instead of appreciating his own strengths and his place in the world, he became obsessed with imitating something entirely different from himself. This is a trap we can all fall into, especially in our modern world of social media, where we're constantly shown curated, highlight reel versions of other people's lives. We see someone with a bigger house, a more exciting job, or a more perfect life, and it's easy to feel like we're not enough. We might be tempted to puff ourselves up, to pretend to be someone we're not, just to keep up. But just like the frog, this path is unsustainable and ultimately self-destructive. True contentment doesn't come from being a second-rate version of someone else. It comes from embracing who you are, with all your unique talents, flaws, and qualities. The ox was magnificent as an ox. The frog was wonderful as a frog. The tragedy occurred when the frog tried to cross that uncrossable divide. So, the next time you feel that pang of envy, remember the frog. Appreciate the greatness you see in others, but don't let it diminish your own worth. Focus on being the best version of yourself, not a pale imitation of someone else. Your unique qualities are your true strengths. Celebrate them. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. I hope it gave you something to think about. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more tales and the lessons they hold, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us grow and create more content for you. Until next time, be yourself and be well.